It's week one, and we are going to start diving in with looking at what is mindfulness? What's the history of mindfulness? What does it mean when we are actually practicing mindfulness? And what are some of the detriments of not practicing mindfulness? It was only with the introduction of a man named Jon Kabat-Zinn where mindfulness really started to take its roots. He founded the Center for Mindfulness at the University of Massachusetts Medical School and then continued his research showing empirical evidence of the benefits of mindfulness when it came to stress reduction and decreasing rates of burnout. And now, in this day, mindfulness has been integrated into positive psychology, medical facilities, even schools, just because it works that well. So now you're probably wondering, well, how can mindfulness help my life? In today's fast-paced world, it's hard to keep up. All of the demands that are placed on us from work, home, and everything else that society forces us to do, it can feel like sometimes we just can't catch a break. And when this happens very soon, we're creeping up on burnout. From irritability and frustration to one more problem or one more email coming through before we just burst. What if I told you that by practicing mindfulness for just a few short minutes every single day, you could create better mental clarity, better efficiency, and become that problem solver that everybody in the room needs, leading to a happier life and deepening your awareness of yourself as well as others. In this course, I'm going to show you the exact scientifically backed techniques to take you from where you are right now to making you a master at mindfulness. But before we go any further, let's look at some signs of what it means to be mindful and what it means to not be so mindful. So what does it look like when someone's not being very mindful? They're usually not very emotionally or mentally present. Another really big key sign of not being very mindful, being unaware of your actions, thoughts, or behaviors. The most important one is constantly being distracted by worries of the future and problems of the past. If we are constantly worried about what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future, we don't get to experience the gift that is the present moment. Now let's look at some signs of when someone is being really mindful. And as you hear these, I want you to ask yourself, do I do this on a daily basis? The first sign is someone who is emotionally and mentally present. They're in the present moment and they're there with you. The second sign is being aware of your body, your thoughts, and your actions. When you're in a meeting with someone or when you're spending time with a loved one, are you really present with them? As we become more mindful, we start to gain agency over our body, over our thoughts, and over our actions. By remaining in the present moment, we are able to show up to situations compassionately and with a sense of agency. And finally, the most important one, being present with what is currently happening. How often do you find yourself doing one thing and being distracted by something else at the same time? Your mind can only hold on to one thing at a time. Multitasking isn't a real thing. Science has proven that our brain just doesn't work that way. And I wonder how much more energy and effort it takes to do two things incongruently, as opposed to doing one thing congruently. And as we go through this journey together, you're going to see in some situations how you haven't been very present. And as you continue going through this course, you're going to start to learn how to bring more presence into your everyday life. So the question is, how do we get there? How do we go from where we are right now to where we really want to be in a mindful way? Over the rest of this course, we're going to dive into that exact question. And I'm certain that by the end of this, you'll know the answer. So to begin, we have to look at what are the pillars of mindfulness. If we understand the pillars of mindfulness, we start to be able to understand when we're being mindful and when we're not being so mindful. So in the next video, I'm going to detail and outline specifically what the 4 pillars of mindfulness are that I've created for this course and how you can start utilizing them in your everyday life. I'll see you in the next video.